Welcome to the JayGravesReport College Football Weekly Wrap-Up, Week 10. Y'all know how we get it in, so let's get it in. Wrapping up the top 5 ball games of the weekend, so let's get right to it. First ball game, Navy goes to number 25, Notre Dame, and plays in South Bend in front of Touchdown Jesus. Now, Notre Dame squeaks out of this ball game 38-34. But they was dull. You let the dull Service Academy, dull Navy come out there and ran the wishbone, ran all over. Navy had 331 yards on the ground on these boys, had 207 in the first half. Now, how in the world are you Notre Dame, one of the richest storied programs in America, got some duds from the Naval Academy running all over? I mean, like I said, these guys ain't real football players, bruh. You give up 331 yards on the ground. Navy held on to the ball for 37.5 minutes. Left Tommy Reese on the sideline, even though he did come out there, put up 242 yards, threw 2 dub picks, but threw 2 touchdowns. Ended up winning the ball game. But I'm going to tell you like this. That's duh. You let the Naval Academy put 331 yards on the ground on you. Duh! Let's move on to the next ball game. The Mississippi State Cowbells goes to number 14, South Carolina. Now, I will say this. The dumb Mississippi State Cowbells lost this ball game because they can't hold on to the ball. They lost 34-13. But they had 5 dub turnovers. They beat South Carolina in every statistical category in this ball game. Outplayed them, bruh. Beat them in total yards, first downs, third down conversions, time of possession, and dub turnover. You can't turn the ball over 5 times and win this game. Now, Connor Shaw, I will say, came out, put 147 yards in the air on these boys, scored 4 touchdowns. Mike Davis went to work, put in 128 yards on the ground, passed the century mark, went over 1,000 yards in this ball game. But no way should they have won this ball game if the Mississippi State Cowbells hadn't come out there and turn the ball over. I mean, I'm telling you, what they need to do in Mississippi is stop letting these boys eat popcorn in the locker room before the game. Let's move on to the next ball game. Number 21, Michigan, goes to what they call their little brother, number 22, Michigan State. Now, Michigan State came out here with the number 1 defense in the country and dog-walked these boys 29-6. Now, like I told you before, the number 1 defense in the country showed up and did what they were supposed to do. Now, who would have expected that these Dubs were going to keep Michigan to negative 48 yards on the ground? They sacked the quarterback 7 times. Now, I will say this. Devin Gardner put on that number 98 at the beginning of the season. Let these boys talk him into putting on number 98. He didn't realize when he put on number 98, he was going to put on an extra 200 pounds. You cannot be nimble wearing a number 98 playing quarterback. So he has to go in and accept some of the blame for some of these dumb sacks. How do you play quarterback and wear number 98, bro? Makes no sense at all. It's your man. Now, let's move on to the next ball game. Let's go down to number 18, Oklahoma State, goes to number 15, Texas Tech. Now, going into this ball game, I told you that Oklahoma State was going to go down to Lubbock and beat these boys, beat the brakes off these boys, 52-34. Why? Because Texas Tech got the same problem the Duns over at South Carolina got, or Mississippi State got, turning the ball over. Texas Tech turned the ball over going into this game 19 times. In this ball game, turned the joint over 3 times. They beat them in every statistical category, beat them in first down, time of possessions, total yards, and dub turnovers. You can't turn the ball over in big ball game and expect to win. Cliff Kingsbury said he got these boys rolling. They had lost 2 ball games in a row. Everybody hollering and screaming about Texas Tech. You can't turn the ball over. Let's move on to the next ball game. Number 7, Miami, goes to number 3, Florida State, and play the Florida State Seminoles in Doak Campbell Stadium. Now, this ball game was pretty much locked up at halftime, 21-14. Florida State was only up by 7. All of a sudden, 3.5 quarters in, you got a dumb named Anthony Chiquilo from Miami start a fight at the bottom of the pile, holding on to Bobby Hart's face mask. Got these boys going. Next thing you know, Florida State goes on a 20-0 run. Beats the brakes off these boys. I keep telling you, you cannot walk through the jungle in gasoline drawers and light a cigarette. Because at some point, the sparks gonna ignite. And when you go out there and start a fight in the middle of a rivalry game, on the road, you asking to get the dog snot beat out of you. And that's what happened to doggone Miami. Got beat 41-14. Famous Jameson Company went to the crib. It's your man Jay Graves Report from the JayGravesReport.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter at JayGravesReport and holla at your boy.